Boom! You know, bro, got vibrant, bad like way power and rory. But here what? At the time for the lion, them tell them story. Lion voice. A bro, got vibrant. I said, don't listen to it once, don't listen to it twice. Subscribe, like, and share. You hear? Boom! Cause just because I hears hard, them. Cause them a fast and pray just to see we fail. Lion voice. Boom, got vibrant rep.
Go.
Hello, my name is Debbie, and I'm speaking to you straight from the Quick Artist Search Studios at Sassy Radio. I'm a producer, and you know what time it is? It is time for the lion to tell a story. Tune in and don't go anywhere.
Yeah, ever since my former business partner, he jokingly called himself the Black Colin Powell on a track we were doing. But he doesn't really rap. And I was like, man, that's too good of a name to like not be used. So I just took it from him. Like that's the story of it. He doesn't rap, so it doesn't matter.
But you'll explain the science because it's fascinating, the science behind the name.
Right. So there was a time when Colin Powell keeps making different statements. There was a moment where he said something in an MTV interview, where he said, how does it feel to be the first Black person to do blah, 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 blah. And part of his answer was, I'm not that Black. And sort of what he meant was like, I'm not fist in the air Black, right? But like what he said got misconstrued, and like the story of it is greater than the actual moment. But it made my man go, like, what if he was Black? Like, what if, like, because he is the military mind of our generation. You know what I'm saying? When they name new aircraft carriers and tanks and bases, they're going to be named the Colin Powell. And he was legitimately a great soldier, but he was doing it for the American Empire. I cannot tell you. So for the people who are international, I think because they're more educated than we are here in America, I think y'all understand how vast and broad America is. And so you would need to talk to several African Americans to understand what it feels like to be Black under a looming Trump administration again. I live in Maryland, which probably right now is historically the Blackest represented state. Like the governor, the mayor of the largest city, I'm in a good place, relatively speaking. I'm still in America. PG County cops still have a reputation, even though we're a majority Black county, and a well-earned reputation. So I still have to watch my back some. But I'm not in a situation like they find themselves in some places where they're more of a minority.
Yes.
And so I tell people all the time, and this is not speeding up my plan. The last time Trump became president, I got serious about my plan because I was with you and a whole bunch of rosters in Jamaica, where the creator wanted me at the time, evidently. And so, like I said, we're back in the same place again. I don't have a knee-jerk reaction. I'm a Pan-Africanist. My plan was for my future generations to not be participating in this, to find some other way. And so I'm ready for America to do some crazy things. And I don't know if you know this, Kwasi, but the track we did together is the first song that I recorded for the mixtape. It was the song that made me go, oh no, I gotta have a group of songs. Because I had ideas and I thought about it.
No, because I've been hearing about the Black Colin Powell project for some time. Yeah. So I thought, okay, so give thanks.
And that's another key that you're a good brother, because my brother Mark does the same thing to me. I will talk about a project around them for the longest, and they were like, man, let's do this. Let's go. Let's roll. And I'm like, yeah, let's just make this happen. So yeah, I did that. We recorded that when they returned Afghanistan to the Afghanis, I think is like right when we did that. And so that's the beginning of, the latest administration or whatever. It was political then. It's political now. For a lot of people, it's their favorite track. So and people have been asking me more about you because you went off on that. Yeah. Like, so the way you've been talking for a minute has reminded me of the thing I need to promote the most, and that is you can book me or come to one of my Kwanzaa programs.
Yes.
One of my favorite songs, that's one of my originals, is my song Umoja, and I believe our relationship and how we build is an example of Umoja. My song is about how James Brown describes funk, and that is every instrument is a drum, and every drum plays whatever they want, but they all come back to the one. You know what I'm saying? And so, you're a lawyer, I'm a teacher, You're also an educator. You know, we all have different things that we do on different veins, but we all come back to the Pan-Africanism. You know what I'm saying? Trump becomes president, Pan-Africanism. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely check out my song Umoja, and definitely hit me up about doing Kwanzaa. And I'm just really into Black ritual. I'm into us doing things together that remind us who we are. My job is to help people feel better about their Blackness.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice. Well, Bomani Armah, aka the Black Colin Powell, alongside the Chasmatch Kwasi.
Ring the alarm, an empire is dying. Flash the lights, sound the bells, blast the horns and the sirens. We saw it happen before, it didn't stop us from trying. Kabul looks like Saigon, people fleeing and flying. A sign of end times like Cortez to the Mayans. A change in the climate creates a heated environment. Since the birth of a nation back when Babylon sided, the country's labor pain were both deadly and violent. We were raped, beat, brainwashed till we admired it. Docile and compliant, we were tortured by tyrants. Praise almighty dollar is the only requirement. Stolen resources, we never legally acquired it. Make money from mineral extraction and refinement. From generals to the privates. Soldiers on street corners sling freedom on consignment. Debt due now, they got us wondering where the time went. Empire's gonna keep empiring. You say we're peacekeepers, they say that we're pirates. Controlled education and diets, they don't want us defiant. Ignorance spread rapidly, it's so violent. Shine the light of truth clean.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk. Welcome to Lion Talk, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Today we have a very special guest, very good brethren of mine. We are going to go into his latest project. We're not going to do our typical Lion Talk where we step into the time machine and go back to your birth. We already did that with this brethren. If you want to see that episode, I'll put the link here. You can just go click that link, watch that episode where we go into the history. Mr. Read a book, this, that. We're not going to touch that. We're going to just do something a little bit different. We're going to go into his new project. We are in the U.S. election aftermath right now. I'm here in Washington, D.C. We had Donald Trump elected once again. And this is a full circle moment because when he was elected the first time, I was with this brethren in Jamaica. We just landed in Jamaica, as a matter of fact, when the news was announced for the Jamaica Music Conference. So this is a full circle moment. We'll find out a little more. I don't really deal with the politics. Two wings of the same bird. I don't get caught up in that. But we will definitely touch on some topics because this project, has some political implications. This brethren project is called the Black Colin Powell, and people will listen to that and say, how does that Colin Powell was a black man, but this is all about what if Colin Powell uses talents for the liberation of black people. We're gonna go deep. This brethren is one of the purest creatives I know. I'm very excited about this. But before we bring forward the brethren, let me just big up the Lion Pride. If you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. And I just want to big up, we are 12,300 plus strong. We're growing every day. Global movement at this point. So we give thanks for everyone around the world. I'm still waiting for my Libya family to drop a comment. I see the item subscribing. I see the numbers in the analytics, but I don't see a comment from anybody from Libya. Drop a comment. Let's get some love, people. Please, I need my North African love, please. And big up Kenya, as always. Kenya never leave us out. And all the Lion Pride around the world. Big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. We are 20 strong right now. We lost a couple, we gained a couple. Big up all of the new members. We are trying to hit 100 in the Lion Pride by January 1st. My core audience, you know who you are. You watch, you love the vibration. Join us in the economic engine. When you see I'm just a face. I'm just a curator of like minds. So the model we're using is audience funding. So remember that we are not depending on the big sponsors and all of that, because to stay truly independent, non-aligned as Rastafari Media, we have to be audience funded, direct to consumer. I tell that to all of my clients, all the content creators out there. So we live in what we preach here. So big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. We have two brethren that just joined recently. I see the item. I'm really give thanks that the brethren are starting to come forward. We had a lot of sistren that were coming forward for a time. So I give thanks to see the brethren them putting their foot side by side. I don't want to feel lonely, family. Please, I don't want to feel lonely. Big up the Ubuntu Lion Pride. If you give more than $50 US, you know, you become part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. Some people don't want to do the subscription. That's fine. They want to support the channel. You can do the Ubuntu Zelle Cash App. Put up the information if you want to join that way. We welcome the item. Same way. Big up the Action Lion Pride. You don't have no money, you're broke. You can like, you can comment, you can share, you know what I mean? Because that's going to help push the movement through the algorithm. So big up the Action Lion Pride. I see the item, you know, I get my weekly analytics. It tells you how much people share, how much people comment. I attribute all of that to the Action Lion Pride. I'm not doing it, so big up all of the Action Lion Pride. I don't have the illusion that this is a one-man operation. This is a movement. And then, of course, we big up the Watch and Peep Lion Pride. Who are the Watch and Peep? The Watchers. Everybody starts as a watcher. You're just watching. That was also another name, of course, given the Book of Enoch for the angelic beings, the Watchers. Big up every watcher. You know what I mean? What they don't comment, you don't know. And we know that the majority of our audience are watchers because we see the analytics, the numbers. Most of our watchers are not subscribers. So big up every watcher. You know, we appreciate, love the item. And then you have the peepers. The peepers are just there to peep and see if you are popped down. They're there for the controversy. They're looking for you to make a mistake. They just come to peep. I big them up as well because guess what? They are part of your ecosystem. When they talk bad about you, they're spreading the word. So big up every peeper. You're part of the ecosystem. You're valued. You know what I mean? It's just you don't want to get out of balance like any ecosystem. You don't want the fungus to overtake the whole ecosystem. You know what I mean? But big up yourself, you peeper. All of the peepers. and everyone in this community that is making this rise possible. We give thanks for the item. We couldn't do it without you. Big up Rasledge, Ramia King Design. You know that we appreciate love all of our small businesses. We're going to be bringing some new businesses online shortly. We're trying to prioritize Rastafari businesses. So if you have a product or service you want to get in front of an audience, reach out. We are here. Big up Wally King's CMOS Life, the greatest CMOS drink. Ras Woolly Philpotts. Bringing that graphics. If you see the logo, a lot of the graphics link that brethren. He's doing excellent work. All right, housekeeping out of the way. Get ready, because this is going to be one of those episodes. This brethren is very knowledgeable, you know what I mean? Well read, well versed, Pan-African to the bone. And when we say Rastafari and Pan-African platform, this is what we're talking about. You know, we're not just bringing Rastafari people on the platform. We are part of the Pan-African community. We are for the unification of Africa, and this brethren is for the unification of Africa. I want all of the Lion Pride to give a warm welcome to I and I good brethren, none other than Bomani Armah. Welcome. Bomani, hold on, let's unmute you there. Hold on. Go ahead.
Mic check 1 2. Peace.
He's an MC. I didn't go to the MC part. That's why we're here.
That's what's up, man.
Here,
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man.
No problem. No problem. So we are here. You just dropped November 5th, Election Day in America. We didn't know if civil war was going to break out. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
Give thanks we're on the other side. I wanted to do this before the whole project dropped, but things happened. We lost one of our elders here.
No worries. My condolences.
So we're gonna dive into this project. First, introduce yourself to the family for those who didn't see the first interview, and then explain to us this groundbreaking project that you just released.
So thank you very much, Kwasi, for having me on here. Thank y'all very much for supporting the Lions Voice, Lions Talk. I have so much respect for you and your family and what you do. I tell people all the time, I'm just representation of a community that's doing this Pan-African stuff for real. I love hanging out with you. I love building with you. You are my street credibility. You know what I'm saying? Because all I do is talk Pan-Africanism. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, I'm hanging out with Kwasi. You don't understand. We're doing this for real. So thank you very much for for being a brother that stand by this. And yeah, I released the Black Colin Powell mixtape. My name is Bomani Armah. I'm an MC. I'm an educator. I have a whole bunch of projects. What pays the bills and what I love to do is my teacher alter ego, which is Baba Bomani. I got babagotbars.com. I travel the country teaching through the writing process through hip hop. But I am also an artist on a whole bunch of other levels, most known for Read a Book, the controversial video from BET about more than 15 years ago. And I released mixtapes. It's been about a decade since my last mixtape. And I don't know if you know this, Kwasi, but the track we did together is the first song that I recorded for the mixtape. It was the song that made me go, oh no, I gotta have a group of songs. Cause I had ideas and I thought about it.
No, because I've been hearing about the Black Colin Powell project for some time. So I thought, okay, so give thanks.
And that's another key that you're a good brother, because my brother Mark does the same thing to me. I will talk about a project around them for the longest, and they were like, man, let's do this, let's go, let's roll. And I'm like, yeah, let's just make this happen. So yeah, I did that. We recorded that when they returned Afghanistan to the Afghanis. I think is like right when we did that. And so that's the beginning of, you know, the latest administration or whatever. It was political then. It's political now. For a lot of people, it's their favorite track. So and people have been asking me more about you because you went off on that. Like you absolutely went off on that. So that was the first track, and I've been ever since my former business partner, he jokingly called himself the Black Colin Powell on a track we were doing. But he doesn't really rap. And I was like, man, that's too good of a name to like not be used. So I just took it from him. Like, that's the story of it. He doesn't rap, so it doesn't matter.
But explain the science, because it's fascinating, the science behind the name.
Right. So there was a time when Colin Powell keeps making different statements. There was a moment where he said something in an MTV interview where he said, how does it feel to be the first black person to do blah, 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 blah. And part of his answer was, I'm not that black. And sort of what he meant was, like, I'm not fist in the air black, right? But like what he said got misconstrued, and like the story of it is greater than the actual moment. But it made my man go, like, what if he was black? Like, what if, like, because he is the military mind of our generation. You know what I'm saying? When they name new aircraft carriers and tanks and bases, they're going to be named the Colin Powell. And he was legitimately a great soldier, but he was doing it for the American Empire. And so it was like, what if he didn't? He's the same generation. He's a little bit younger, same generation as Muhammad Ali. Like, they were all seeing the same facts, and some people took different roles in the thing. And part of the project is about just analyzing it. No rapper is as cool as the alter ego they create. You know what I'm saying? It's aspirational. So I'm not as disciplined as Colin Powell. I want to be. It's aspirational. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But he was an amazing soldier. But he was using his powers. A thread in his biography, which I've read now 3 times, is how much he wanted to bring light to the Buffalo Soldiers.
Okay.
And I think it's, for me as a Pan-Africanist, for me as someone who understands the genocide that happened in America and our longing to be a part of America, and understanding what Dick Gregory said to Bob Marley about the Buffalo Soldiers, like, it had more of a sense of irony than I think he meant for it to have, because, like, that explains everything. You know what I'm saying? We're going to demonstrate to this country that we can do America as good or better than America. And
Yes.
we need to be figuring out how to do our Pan-Africanness thing to the level that we are striving to do America. But I don't blame Colin Powell, because he's doing what we've been telling black kids to do for decades.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now that we've seen it in action, now we've got to, like, we gotta, especially what happened to,
And they left him out there to dry. They destroyed his legacy. One of the biggest lies on the record that cost millions of lives in Iraq, and they put it on his head. They put that on his head top. I have a big audience in Jamaica. He was of Jamaican descent, so you know what I mean. I know that they would be a little sensitive about Colin Powell, but these are the facts.
These are the facts.
You know what I mean?
These are the facts.
And that's also the story of the immigrant, because oftentimes the immigrant is used. You know what I mean?
I recommend his autobiography.
Okay.
The amount of time and energy he puts into making sure we understood how much his Jamaican mother and father were the reason he is who he is amazing. And the immigrant work ethic, and the immigrant, like, you got to make something of yourself. We didn't come over here and go through all this for you to not take advantage of the school system. And so he was a C student until he found the military. And he excelled in the military. He's amazing at it.
Yes.
And he was doing what we tell immigrants to do. And so we have to be careful of how we move, because I don't want to be the tool of the American Empire. And that's what he ends up being. You know what I'm saying? I grew up admiring him. I don't know. I'm assuming you probably did too when you were younger. I don't know how soon you got the Pan-African mindset and was like, wait a minute, what is America doing all over the place?
I grew up in a Pan-African home, so I was always very cautious of the Eurocentric power structure.
Boom.
But I can always appreciate excellence, and he did exemplify excellence within his station. He was known for a doctrine of overwhelming military force. Similar kind of to the German Blitzkrieg, and
you do more than you have to.
So which is the immigrant ethos, translated into military doctrine when you really think about it.
Have you read his biography?
I haven't.
he explains that, like, he didn't apply that to anything else in his life, but he found he loved the drill team. He loved some people. That's why he preaches so much about being regimented, because some people need that, and so we caught on to that and excelled at it.
Serious. So what I want to do today, because this is an extraordinary project, I want everyone to go to your Bandcamp, to your website, and support the brethren I put up. He's on all platforms. He's very well versed on the social media. He has a YouTube page. Go subscribe to his YouTube page. But what I want to do today is to go through the track list, because this is an education. This brethren raps and teaches for a living. You know, goes all around the country, teaching young people literacy, different skills through rapping and using MC. One of a handful of people who do it full time, I would imagine. You know,
the numbers are getting bigger, but yeah, you're right. We're making, you know.
Yeah, but you're a pioneer in that space.
I'm trying to be. I'm proud to be part of the tip of the spear, but it's definitely a huge spear. It's a big engine happening. So thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
you're more, and I need to bring you forward just on that piece. We need to do a whole.
We'll
thing
talk
just
about it.
on the hip hop
Definitely.
education, because you know, as a creative, that's a fascinating. You know, as Rastafari, we don't want to do teaching the way the Western model.
Right.
You know, especially Black children learn through rhythm and movement, especially Black boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And even I even recognize that. I think half of what I do now when I'm doing hip hop with young people is media literacy. It's just taking down the veil, because you know, they see things on YouTube and everybody wants to be a YouTuber, and they hear people making music and they hear rhymes and it's magic. And I don't want it to be magic. I want it to be science. I want it to be art and science, not magic. That's something that's unattainable and not understandable. Yeah. And if you rhyme well enough, then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you know what you're talking about. I want them to be like, no, I know what a rhyme is. Like, you got to hit me with something.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm raising a generation of kids here in Maryland and DC that do that. So that feels good.
Powerful. All right. So let's go through the track list. Do you have it there handy?
Yes, I do. All
right, so let's start with this audio experience. Track number 1, what's the name? What's the vibration?
All right, so the entire project is me being inspired by classic hip hop tracks, songs that I like, and songs that, like, if I listen to a chorus or a line from the song, I can figure out something I've always wanted to say and put it to this theme. So I needed to explain who the Black Colin Powell is. I've been talking about it for a decade, and I finally needed to explain it. And so I did the Black Colin Powell over Jay-Z's PSA. In the original PSA, there are audio clips of like interviews and TV shows and stuff like that. I use Colin Powell from his autobiography and Colin Powell from an interview with Larry King, talking about what the fallout of there being no weapons of mass destruction, and how he, you know, how it's always going to be his fault. And so, yeah, that's me channeling my inner Jay-Z, and, you know, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bo. I follow the pattern that Jay-Z did. I didn't say reintroduce myself because I didn't want to be presumptuous. So I just said, allow me to introduce myself, and then, you know, yeah, have fun with it. So I think I broke down the Black Colin Powell concept pretty well.
Nice. So here's a little snippet of the Black Colin Powell. Check it out. Yes.
When disillusioned blacks go off by themselves, they withdraw from the promise of America. They then allow whites to walk away too, saying, if that's what they want, so be it. I have lived in and risen in a white-dominated society. My blackness has been a source of pride, strength, and inspiration, and so has my being an American.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bo, the Black Colin Powell. I never slang birds, that's living foul. Tearing down American Idol, Simon Cowell. Got Ernie Terrell, Negroes throwing in the towel. Say my name, Bomani Armah. Hit you full speed, I ain't come here to spar. Waving RBG flags from Oakland to Zanzibar. My dream works from NYC to Madagascar. But this about the people, no anthropomorphism in this African sequel. Well, maybe it's a lion stepping to a bald eagle. We doing what's righteous, don't care what's legal. Colin Powell said in books and in interviews that he was black but more red, white, and blue, or even army green, like that's neutral. So they used him as a tool and a useful fool.
But a lot of people counted on you.
I know.
You changed the ball.
I turned the dial. There's no question about it. And that's what the president wanted me to do and what I was supposed to do.
You regret it.
I regret it now because the information was wrong. Of course I do. But I will always be seen as the one who made the case before the international community.
He told lies. Now a million Iraq.
Mighty. All right. So we are continuing down this set list, family. Track number 2.
Track number 2 is Ring the Alarm featuring the Jazz Match Kwasi.
All right. I like it already.
Yeah, man. The classic Stalag rhythm. I've been trying to make myself right. I think I got inspired by watching America struggle to get out. Like, I guess they didn't flee. I guess they was always planning to leave, but it was supposed to have been much smoother than it was.
Yes.
And I just remember how hectic that was. And just realizing that, we might not live to see it. We both talk all the time how we're playing a generational game.
Mm-hmm.
But we're preparing ourselves for this whole thing to just not be what it is right now. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? And them so blatantly not being able to hold on to something they spent so much money and time and American blood on is crazy. So that's what inspired this. I'm rhyming off the same sound all the way through. I don't even try to like do Jamaican patois when I'm doing reggae beats.
That's what makes it good though, because the contrast. Yeah, you're flowing on the beat.
And so I had fun with it. You came through and crushed it. Like my boys, when I played it for them, they were like, "Yo, Kwasi came through." He's like, "You gotta." I actually went and re-recorded my verse, and then went back to the original because I just wanted to make sure I gave it all that I got. And I did. But you absolutely murdered it. So everybody who keeps asking me about me, so I'm gonna make sure I send them to your music, because I had one partner in Baltimore was like, it makes me want to hear more of what he does, because you absolutely crushed that. So
give thanks for the opportunity. I'm here to serve.
That's what's up.
My artist side is very upset with me. I make the joke on this platform all the time. My artist side doesn't like me because I just not giving him the attention. But I give thanks when I can flex a little bit on those type of projects.
That's what's up.
And that has inspired me to release more mixtapes and focus. I put all my music on my Patreon right now, my unreleased music, so people can check it out there for the Patreon. But I really give thanks for the invitation.
I appreciate how authentic you are. You're talking some heavy Pan-African stuff on this verse, and I can vouch for like seeing it in action. You know what I'm saying? And that feels good. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, the idea that hip-hop MCs kept it real, because they kept saying they kept it real. Yes. Like, it took me a little while to get over the fact that a lot of it wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? But I took that idea to heart. And so you're talking big stuff in this song. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're on your Pan-African like floss on this joint. And I appreciate that to the utmost.
That's all we do. That's all we do. You know what I mean? And I consider myself an MC, as a young youth being introduced. I think my first hip hop song that really caught me was KRS-One, The Bridge Is Over.
Boom.
Where I really started to say, all right, MC that Super Cat loop, being from a Jamaican home and seeing that link. And then from there, I was, Roxanne, UTFO, you know what I mean? I come from that era, you know what I mean? As a young person listening to hip hop. And then when I went to high school, dancehall took over and reggae started taking over. But hip hop has always been a part of the DNA. So anytime I get to be with an MC like Bomani Armah, it's a great day. You know what I mean? We got some other songs. we got to do some work. And also, let me say that the intro for the Lion Voice is a Bomani Armah original. You know, I just came in the studio, I just started singing, and he just made that beat. So, you know, that signature sound for this program, for the whole network, this is the brother who created that sound. So we have a lot of work to do. We had a podcast, Mix and Master. We did a whole season, Kabaka Pyramid, Mumu Fresh, Asharu. We had an all-star first season that we did. We're going to bring it back in some. We keep talking about it. We're going to make it happen. Pan-African podcast. We're just working out the details, but stay tuned for that. But yeah, so track number 2 was a collaboration. Check it out. This is Ring the Alarm.
Well, Bomani Armah, aka the Black Colin Powell, alongside the Chas Match Kwasi.
Ring the alarm, an empire is dying. Flash the lights, sound the bells, blast the horns and the sirens. We saw it happen before, it didn't stop us from trying. Kabul looks like Saigon, people fleeing and flying. A sign of end times like Cortez to the Mayans. A change in the climate creates a heated environment. Since the birth of a nation back when Babylon sided, the country's labor pain were both deadly and violent. We were raped, beat, brainwashed till we admired it. Docile and compliant, we were tortured by tyrants. Praise almighty dollar is the only requirement. Stolen resources, we never legally acquired it. Make money from mineral extraction and refinement. From generals to the privates. Soldiers on street corners sling freedom on consignment. Debt due now, they got us wondering where the time went. Empire's gonna keep empiring. You say we're peacekeepers, they say that we're pirates. Controlled education and diets, they don't want us defiant. Ignorance spread rapidly, it's so violent. Shine the light of truth, cleans like it's ultraviolet. They tried to sell us war, half the country didn't buy it. We know who's the giant and it's David and Goliath. We gotta speak up, they think we love it when we're quiet. The ballot or the bullet gets warmongers fired. Don't be mad, UPS is hiring. When voices go unheard, then we speak in riots. I'm the Black Colin Powell, no discharge or retirement. Yeah. Rewind selector. In this time when things are going crazy, we need somebody to map out the plan of what to do. Fortunately, we've been working on this for a long time. Here's my man, the Jazz Match Kwasi.
Ring the alarm, an empire is falling, non-stall, Mama Africa calling. In Afghanistan, how many mothers are bawling? America pack up, say them a leave without warning. Now the Taliban say them a come in the morning. Just remember when the CIA first armed them. KGB flee, holy warriors swarm them. Just say no more war, go a UN and warn them. Tell them protect the poor, don't do nothing fi harm them. Them never want here, so here come all the storm them. Hama Gideon, I and I inform them. While we in Africa, and I walk and we farm them. The ghettos and the slums, I and I transform them. Urban agriculture, I go become the norm them. Plus when music I go play, pan we own platform them. Black, wealth I go build, water, well I go drill. What a joy in a Zion when the prophecy fulfill. Every man fi have a skill, Mother Earth soil have it till. Average African family, them fi what a couple bill. No more people getting killed, no more blood it off is spill. Man I living at Lagos, vacation in the grill. This is real, it's not a chill. This is not the time to chill. This is time for we rise, tell the wicked be still.
Mighty. You hear that. You hear that. You hear that, family. All right. So track number 3, where are we going?
So track number 3, I remade Nas's classic Ether, and I dedicated it to my least favorite, my favorite songwriting nemesis, Francis Scott Key.
Okay, this is the one I love. Break this down for the people, because you taught me a lot about Francis Scott Key. I see this on high schools all over the place.
We're from Maryland. We're from his hometown.
Okay, that's
everything that he's famous for, the battle that he's writing about in the song is in Baltimore.
Explain, what song? Tell us.
So he wrote the Star Spangled Banner. Okay. Which is a diss track to Africans fighting for their freedom.
Okay.
Specifically the Black Marines who the American volunteers were not ready for. So first of all, this is the War of 1812. This is a war of aggression where Americans try to take over Canada because there's nothing you can't tell the Americans that they don't own, right? And so Francis Scott Key was a lawyer, or soon to be lawyer, from Maryland, and he was volunteering at the Battle of Bladensburg. When I say volunteering, he was in the militia that was there to try to stop the British, because when the United States attacked Canada, the British attacked Washington, D.C. and halfway burned down the Capitol. The way they did that was entering through Bladensburg, not too far from where I live right now. And Francis Scott Key was there. And the main force that they went against was the British African Marines, who had learned how to fight from fighting Napoleon. So the volunteers from like what is now Chilham, you know what I'm saying, and like, you know what I'm saying, they just weren't ready. They outnumbered them, but when they saw how well they could shoot and reload and move and blah 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 blah, they was like, oh no, we're not ready, and so they ran. And Francis Scott Key was one of the junior officers there, and so it was one of the most embarrassing moments of his life. And so he later in the battle, there's a battle in Baltimore, and while the battle is happening, he is there as a lawyer trying to negotiate the release of some prisoners, and that's when he sees the huge flag, and he's wondering if the flag is going to make it through the battle. And then he rejoices in the morning and writes the song, but he specifically takes pleasure in the second and third verses of the Black Marines being blown up, who were mostly like enslaved Africans who were promised their freedom if they fought for the British Army. And so like there are a whole bunch of songs that song has only been the national anthem for a little over 100 years. You can do the research, but all the people who made it the most the national anthem were the most racist presidents of their time. Like the third verse being racist is not like a throwaway. They think they're being clever. You know what I'm saying? They're mad at Reconstruction. They are segregating federal buildings and building Confederate monuments as they decide on this as the song. You know what I'm saying? So it's not happenstance. You know what I'm saying? They're doing this on purpose. I think we like to lie to ourselves about how racist America is and how intentionally racist America is. And so, and then, you know, just for fun, I've done research beyond the Wikipedia page, but if you go to the Wikipedia page, the thing he's most famous for is writing the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner. The second thing he's most famous for was being the district attorney of Washington, D.C. when he made it illegal to pass out abolition pamphlets because he was afraid of escaped slaves. He was afraid of the riots it would cause, the problems it would cause if you started passing out information trying to make it illegal to sell your ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, America was founded by human traffickers, and he was making it illegal to fight against it, ignoring the freedom of speech. And so he also was on the board of a whole bunch of repatriation organizations. Like he was trying to do Liberia before Liberia happened, and he was a part of what happened to it. But it was specifically because he knew free Black men would inspire enslaved Black men to give him problems. You know what I'm saying? And it was about the inferiority. Like I went down wormholes figuring out. And I guess I'm supposed to talk because that's what this is. But like, I've decided instead of having vitriol for like all the racists in America's past, I'm just gonna pick this one.
Yes,
I'm just gonna pick this one and drill all the way
so
down.
Clever to do a diss track, you know, almost like it's back and in the diss track you hear all the facts and the different things about
exactly
Scott Key. So that's why I say it's a project. It's very creative. Which is why I had to have you on to explain.
I turned into teacher mode trying to give you all the historical references, but I know your crowd likes that, so I appreciate that.
This is the place for it, and we have you know, some of the Rastafari people who are doing hip hop as well. So I wanted to check it out. Drop some comments. Let me know what you think. All right, let's listen to track number 3. What's it called?
Francis Scott Key Ether.
Francis Scott Key Ether. Check it out.
Scott Key.
I am so tired of this man's name plastered everywhere. I am so tired of starting everything with his diss track. Grave with ether. Make sure the people know you. You hated on us heavy. I prove you lost already. From the home of the brave comes the descendant of slaves, calling out Francis Scott Key to take a piss on your grave. I tried to ignore you, tried to play it cool, but they put your goddamn name in all these bridges and schools. Yeah, there's Washington and Jefferson, and I can say that they are evil white supremacists from way.
All right. Track number 4. We're on 4. Yes. What's track number 4?
Track number 4 is Playing Tricks on Me. This is my remake of My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me.
Yes. And you had a guest on this one too.
Yeah, I had 3 guests on this one.
Yes,
this one,
yes.
I'll tell you how this happened. So my best friend since like the 4th, 5th grade, we've always been rapping. He raps when he can, and I've been trying to get him to rap more, and he's been going through some stuff personally, as we all are. Life keeps lifing. So I sent him this track. I was like, I want to put this on my mixtape. I want to do my own version of My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me. I know we're both going through some mental, emotional, social stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want you to vent on this and then take it where you want to take it, and I'll figure out what I do next. And he did a verse about dealing with the passing of his mom and how he's dealing with it and how this family's trying to help him deal with it. And he did it while matching the rhyme pattern of the 3rd verse of the song, like rhythmically and rhyming wise, it matches completely through. Nice. And he crushed it. And so I was like, boom, let me write about what I'm going through. And it took me a couple bars to realize I just got recently diagnosed with MS. Multiple sclerosis, and so my verse is about me dealing with MS. And literally from the opening ad lib of when Scarface comes on is like I sit alone in a 4-corner room lighting the candle. From the very, very beginning all the way through, I match him rhythmically and rhyming wise, and I tell the story of how I'm dealing with MS. And so then I handed it off to Grindstone from Grindstone Universal, another black-owned business real strong brother. He does clothing.
I saw a Grindstone on one of the toll booths on my way from Philly the other day.
Oh, all the way up and down the East Coast, going down 95. You see his sticker. Yeah, nah, he's serious. So he did his about everybody I collaborated with is in their mid 40s, closer to 50 than 40. He did his about trying to make sure he doesn't have hypertension and high cholesterol. You know what I'm saying? Just like grown man stuff. And then Droopy came in last, Droopy the Broke Baller, and he talked about just the financial struggles of being a full-time artist, a teacher turned full-time artist who's, dealing with his own depression, his own loss, and he's trying to spend money, trying to make sure he has fun, but also saving up for a future when he wants to retire or the family might want to have. So it was a whole bunch of grown men talking about grown man problems. You know what I'm saying? It was a blues song. It wasn't all the way depressing. There was some hope and some light to it, but it was more about being real than about being anything else. And it felt good to hear a bunch of brothers like be honest about their emotions and make this modern hip hop blues song based on a classic one.
Give thanks. I love that. So let's take a listen. Number 4, Mind Playing Tricks on Me.
I'm not alone, and I know that this is something I can handle. Oh, that shit is on? Let me drop some shit like this here. Real smooth. At night I deep sleep, my energy burn. Memories and the dark visions, the lessons I've learned. Failure just staring at a nigga. I'm getting old, learning how to figure out my triggers. Doing yoga, drinking water, and I'm eating right. Cause I ain't going out without a fight. Over time my spine froze, I kept sweating, then began to tingle in my toes. My legs freeze in a panic attack, I got a chiropractor, now I'm cracking my back. Took forever for the doctors to discover, forced the wife to go off on those motherfuckers. Now I'm looking for a Rambler home, some sweatsuits and a cane that I own. Some might say take a chill beat, but fuck that shit. MS is trying to kill me. Sometimes I stumble a bit setting up shows, and if I don't perform, all my money's out the window. The experts telling me to relax. Hard to do when facing the facts. Life is short and this body's just a loner. It's fucked up when your spine is playing tricks on you.
Mighty. All right. So track number 5. What are we talking about here?
So track number 5 is Cell Therapy, the classic Goody Mob track. And I know for me, especially dealing with multiple sclerosis, like I talked about in the last track, understanding how my cells work and how they need to be rebuilt and what's going on with them was a part of the conversation. And so I think when I started doing this, I wanted to go that direction. But when I started writing and the rhymes started forming themselves, I just started talking stuff about my personal community. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm shouting out label brands. I'm shouting out the founders of Wilson Baker Academy. You know what I'm saying? Shouting out the founders of Karibu. I'm shouting out my late sister, Rissy Cat. You know what I'm saying? I decided to do my own personal DMV Pan-African flex song. You know what I'm saying? So I shout out Zulu Soul. I do it all while honoring the idea of the original Cell Therapy and really just having fun as a hip-hop artist. So I hope people enjoy this.
And that's one of the things I love about the Eyes, how active you are in the Pan-African community. Not just, theoretical with it, but actively a part, participating, supporting, your queen as well. Big up Sister Vanessa, straight out of Kenya, my sister.
Yeah.
And the beautiful youths, them and everything. So it's a family, man. And I really respect that to the maximum. And you put a lot of thought in this project, and I wanna, for artists who are out there, conceptual projects. So this is the type of project that will build your fan base. People wanna go through an auditory experience. When they're listening, there's so much noise out there. So when you give a conceptual project like this, because remember, even though these are all different topics, they still fit within that Colin Powell conception. So he's dealing with everything with that kind of revolutionary military precision and how we would attack these problems and topics. So I thought this was very illustrative because I have a lot of creatives who watch the platform. So I hope that they are taking notes. All right, so let's get into Cell Therapy.
Boom.
Been on my kinfolk who demonize human nature just so they can say we sinful. Blow, nobody now. Yeah, we got beef cause there's no sacred cows. Who's that eating instrumentals? Who's that keeping up the tempo? Who's overturning tables of money changes in the temple? Blow, from now to 3,000. Bomani Armah, known as the Black Colin Powell. RBG is the mob, so everything's good. He got the stars and bars.
Mighty. All right. Number 6, what are we talking about here?
So number 6, like the next suite of songs is me talking about the family.
Okay.
The actual, the Black Colin Powell as a title, it is an underhanded, like a way to make a point by saying something glaring about him. But rappers don't name themselves after figures they don't respect.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And at his core, Black Colin Powell was a family man, and he tried to be a principled person.
Yes.
And so I think I might disagree with. I feel people when I trust their intentions. I can not like their politics if I think that they really feel the way they really feel. Like we still might have to fight, but I there's a level of respect there if I'm like, nah, that's genuine. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like, and what he talked about outside of being a military man, a lot was being a father and a husband, and having a family, and having conversations with Black people about having Black family. I don't feel the need, because I come from the same community you do, this Pan-African community. I don't need to lecture my brothers and sisters about what it means to be a husband and a wife and a father. Everyone's experiencing it. We need to have a conversation about it, and I need to just tell stories about how I'm dealing with it, and how much I'm enjoying it, how much I'm loving it. But I realized, sometimes as a teacher, as a hip hop artist, you can get into like preaching to the lowest common denominator, and I need to like rap for the people around me. And
Yes.
everybody around me takes care of their kids. It's just a matter of how and the struggle and the, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
just needing to find the commonality amongst each other as fathers, as husbands, as business owners, as Pan-Africanists. So just having the conversation and making sure that, you know, I feel free telling my stories because I know I'm not alone. I know everybody's going through, you know, something similar.
And you made a key point in terms of identifying your niche. Instead of trying to go wide and appeal to everybody, as you say, the lowest common denominator, you're leaning into who you are, your experience, because that's your competitive edge in the marketplace. Is that there's only one Bomani Armah, there's only one person living the life that you live. So nobody can talk about it better. You know what I mean? You are the apex of that. So, and then by drilling down in the niche, you find that universality, because everybody can identify or see themselves in another person's authentic struggle. So that's what I love about what you're talking about here. So let's listen to this song.
So the next song is I'm sorry.
No. Let me just set it up because I don't want them to miss it. All right, this is the song name again.
I Choose You.
I Choose You. Check it out.
So, I wrote this rhyme because you are dear to me. You understand who I am and who I want to be. When struggling to be an NMC and DCMPG, you got your master's degree and your PhD. My engine worn down, I was gonna stall certainly. You are a V engineer to Germany, revving me up, my cup of Kenyan coffee. You're my melatonin, you're my THC. I became addicted, now we're each other's dependents. Our relationship transcendent, a kinship full of friendships and descendants. Became bonus mom, favorite chapter of my story. I took you to Forlorn, you took me to Magori. I gave you an offer you couldn't refuse. This love, sex, marriage, rock and roll, blues.
All right, mighty. All right, what's the next song? 7.
So we're in the middle of my family suite. The last one was about my wife. The next one are about my sons who just graduated high school and have started college. Yes. It happened so fast. I scared people when I told them what I wanted to do. I took Outkast, one of my favorite Outkast songs, Aquemini, about their relationships as an Aquarius and a Gemini. And I made it about my sons because I'm an Aquarius and they're Geminis. And they're actual twins. So this is my ode to them, my newly legal men. I did it and over my favorite rappers, you know, iconic song.
Okay, and these youths are some special youths, but I tell you, known throughout the Pan-African community, they've been drumming, all the events, they exceptional, you know what I mean?
Right.
So let's check this out. This is a father's love to his son.
Even the sun goes down, heroes eventually die. Horoscopes often lie, and sometimes why. Nothing is for show, nothing is for certain. Nothing lasts forever, but until they close the curtain. It's them and I, Aquemini. I'm the Aquarius in the equation, so that makes me the big boy. You upstage me sometimes, and that I thoroughly enjoy. I hold it down, steady and sound, while you play in the void. The games you came to deploy, the change you came to destroy, the problems you came to solve. I'm lucky to be involved and bear witness to the way that you've evolved. From when you were weighed in ounces, your mom and I no longer spouses, live in different houses. We kept the same last name, make sure people pronounced it. I hope you felt we kept you safe and grounded, but for real, I'm astounded at the men you have become, the trials you've overcome, your prowess in martial arts, stepping and playing the drum. This I really mean. You are who I wanted to be when I was 18. You're living the life of my dreams. I hope you're out here living yours. I'm here to watch your back and open doors like my father did before. Lee's big boys, can't forget the role he played. He organized the noise, rest in power, Rico Raid. Started with the stroller that was a 2-seater. Now we wear the same size.
Boom. So you can see you can put anything in your music as long as it's authentic to you. It's gonna hit, it's gonna connect with someone. All right, what's the next song? Number 8.
So number 8, this is the middle of the mixtape, is like the down south segment. I've done some Goody Mob. I've had a whole bunch of Outkast and some UGK. This is Ludacris, who's one of my favorite rappers. I love his use of form. One of the best examples is his song Saturday. It's Saturday. It'll take one concept and one 16-bar rhyme pattern and do it over and over and over again and stay on topic. I wouldn't recommend this for anyone, for your grandmothers or your children, because he's always talking about chicken and beer and women, and you know what I'm saying? Like he's very worldly in his subject matter. But I appreciate his appreciation of the art form. I can tell that he sits with his pen and that he counts out bars and he counts out measures and he figures out, I use the simile here on bar 5. I'm gonna use the simile again on bar 5 of verse 3. You know what I'm saying? And I can see the meticulousness, and I appreciate that as somebody who writes the same way. And so I decided to take a song and make it about being a father.
He's a true creative as well. Definitely underrated. His enunciation, is very good. He has a radio host background.
Yes.
So it makes sense, but you have that in common with him, the enunciation part and all of the words. So that's very interesting. All right, so let's check out this song here. What's the name?
It's Saturday, and it's featuring Black Root. Black Root and I both copied Ludacris's original flow, and we both made it about what it's like being a father on Saturday. And because that's soccer and all that other kind of stuff going on. So I thought we did a really good job. So hopefully y'all like it.
Big up. So listen to this. Boom.
That's need new frames. The baby complain, son's got a soccer game. It's Saturday. Diapers need change, clothes all stained, son's got a soccer game. It's Saturday. Bottles don't pop at the club no more. Moved on up, water down, apple juice, sip beat cup. Daddy crash cars with the Tonka truck. Then they grow up, that's what's up. Act like my sons ain't teens. Headed out the door for the high school team. Headed out the door, better shut my screen. But they don't, so they always gotta hear me scream. Same name, got a game, daddy gon' go. All I got in my life, hope time goes slow. When I'm out for the night, they got a show. So daddy come home, smile brighter than chrome. Brighter than chrome, now that's my word. Did College Park where they make them turbs. Make sure they get the love and care they deserve. 1 daughter, 3 sons, father is a verb. That's need new frames. The baby complain, son's got a soccer game. It's Saturday. Diapers need change, clothes all stained, son's got a soccer game. It's Saturday.
Got a lot of errands when I'm out that door. Plan my trip, baby got a potty, clean a diaper quick. Daughter kinda grumpy because of her outfit, but we gotta go check the lid. Act like my list ain't stacked. How you gon' act like I ain't packed snacks? How you gon' act like y'all got backpacks but forgot I'm at home, now we gotta go back. Car kinda icky, now we gotta be clean. Get the car to the wash, pump the gas so lean. Then I'm back in the car hearing baby scream. Got a cranky baby, now it's time to feed. Time to feed. And the milk so sweet. Got flavor and nutrition they need. Better behavior, cause the snacks and treats on the road later. Now they fast asleep.
That's need new frames. The baby complain, son's got a soccer game.
Mighty. And let me just big up Black Root. We were on the I Never Knew TV grounding with my brothers and sisters. He was the MC. Did a phenomenal job on that conference. He's a multi-talented brethren as well. You can see as an MC. And like most of us, wearing multiple hats as creatives, you know what I mean? That's why you see I gotta stay sharp. I try to surround myself with other people who are striving for that excellence. All right, what's the next song?
So we're down the home stretch. We got 2 more. This one I thought we would. I actually meant to have a conversation with you about this one, so we have to come back to this one. This one is Down with the Kings.
Okay. Yes.
I took Run DMC.
I remember seeing this. I was like, well.
I remember seeing Run DMC's so it was Run DMC's song Down with the Kings, but instead of saying like I'm down with the Kings, I'm with them, it's Down with the Kings, and it's just about, you know, my egalitarian utopian dreams, where no one feels like they're above anyone else, and then just going ahead at the idea. And so it's part of being the Colin Powell. I think I want to have hard conversations with my community. I'm going to say some things sarcastically, but I'm going to say some things that hopefully will garner responses. And I'm hoping these last two tracks really do that.
Rastafari people, we're kingdom people, so probably they won't love the message, but you can appreciate how he's delivering the subject matter, you know what I mean? And these are the thought-provoking lyrics and things that I like, because I don't want to be in an echo chamber, you know what I mean? I like to have people with differing opinions, because that's how you keep your sword sharp. So we don't have to agree to be united.
Nope.
But check out this song, Down with the Kings. And for the most part, most monarchies are you know what I mean?
You got to have the right monarch.
Yes. You know what I mean?
So my favorite line in the song is down with royalty, but up with my niggas.
You see? So read Nigos, Ethiopia, stand for dominant through the ages. But yeah, man, I love it.
Bomani Armah, the black Colin Powell, down with the Kings. Let's go. A few days ago, I recalled this line. It inspired me to write this rhyme, so I wrote the rhyme I'm about to say. But first, rest in peace to Jam Master J. Second one for all, we represent the Trinity, a piece of the divinity, masculinity, femininity. Though we look differently, we are made in God's imagery. That's just a facsimile. I believe in you, cause in God we trust. Down with royalty, but up with my niggas. Down with patriarchal philosophy, no checkers or chess. This is monopoly over my life. No human reigns sovereign. Nobility ain't the goal, it's the problem. All traditions and doctrines, continent or quadrants, being common is what we have in common. One day it will all make sense. The African continent has left its fingerprints, putting faces on dollars doesn't make sense. Pan-Africanism doesn't need a prince. No.
So the final song here, what are we? How did you choose to seal this work?
This made me have to redo my entire track list, because I realized in my song my mind's playing tricks on me. Drew Anderson, Droopy, has like 2 bars where he says, I'm mad because they're turning Palestine, they're using my tax money and turning Palestine red with my green.
Oh wow.
And my boy, my man Everett, who's been my friend since the 10th grade, he said, man, yeah, big up Everett. He's like, man, you're gonna get in trouble for this one line. Like, this is gonna, and this is, we were working on this before more of the world has been like, yeah, no, like this needs to stop in Israel. But Everett was like, you're gonna get in trouble for that one line. He wasn't telling me to not do it. He never tells me to not do stuff. He just wanted.
I'm gonna have to beep out that sound, but don't worry. We you know, because YouTube is crazy right now.
Yeah.
But
So and I know this because I actually put up the song. I put up the song as an acapella, but with the lyrics on all my social media, and none of it's getting any kind of buzz. Like, it got buzzed in the first like 5 minutes. People were saving it and liking it, and then it stopped getting buzz. Like, no one's liking it or saving it or whatever. So anyway, he was like, you're gonna get in trouble because you're mentioning the conflict. And I wasn't going to edit the line.
Yeah.
And so my thought process then went, well, if I'm gonna get in trouble, if you're gonna stay out past the street lights,
you might as well get your sound out. know how I feel about it.
You might as well know how I feel about it. So I credit Drew with that, because like this topic needed to have been approached by the Black Colin Powell.
Yes.
But I didn't feel like ready for it. But then I was like, but I'm never gonna be ready for it. And so I felt like this pushed me. And so I sampled the classic Lauryn Hill song. But I'm actually gonna use I don't use any of her words. I just use the beat for the mixtape, but I'm actually gonna redo it, a new beat for it, and release it probably commercially. But it's me, like,
you ready to stand on it?
I'm ready to stand on it. Like we began the conversation talking about what happened in the election, and a lot of people stayed home because they had to keep their conscience clear. I didn't stay home, but I empathize with people who were trying to keep their conscience clear. And so I need to say out loud what I see the problem is. And it's gonna put me in conflict with a lot of people. So I try to only say things that are factual, while being emotional. Like, I'm not one of those, I'm so logical that I don't like, I'm using my logical powers on things I'm emotional about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to get to the root of this and figure it out. I don't want to be a smoke fighter. But yeah, now I'm ready to stand on it. Like, we need to have this conversation.
All right, I'm gonna play a little piece right here.
In this shining city on the hill, I know I'm kinda odd. I don't wanna be shepherded by the staff and the rod of a kill your neighbors and take their land kinda God. A gospel of peace is how my feet are shod. Righteousness is my Kevlar or my breastplate. I plant love in my heart and let it just stay. People make the world go round, so I test fate. Friends with pawns who think they're kings and bishops, so I checkmates. We adopted the iconography of the chosen.
All right, mighty. So that's the Black Colin Powell. You heard it here. Make sure you support this brother's work. This is the second time on the platform, not the last. Before we seal up though, for our international audience, because we are here in the midst of politics, what is your vantage point, post-election of the temperature in the United States of America from a Pan-African perspective?
So I cannot tell you. So for the people who are international, I think, because they're more educated than we are here in America, I think y'all understand how vast and broad America is. And so you would need to talk to several African Americans to understand what it feels like to be Black under a looming Trump administration again. I live in Maryland, which probably right now is historically the Blackest represented state. Like, the governor, the mayor of the largest city, I'm in a good place, relatively speaking. I'm still in America. PG County cops still have a reputation, even though we're a majority Black county, and a well-earned reputation. So I still have to watch my back some. But I'm not in a situation like they find themselves in some places where they're more of a minority.
Yes.
And so I tell people all the time, and this is not speeding up my plan. The last time Trump became president, I got serious about my plan because I was with you and a whole bunch of rosters in Jamaica, where the creator wanted me at the time, evidently. And so, like I said, we're back in the same place again. I don't have a knee-jerk reaction. I'm a Pan-Africanist. My plan was for my future generations to not be participating in this, to find some other way. And so I'm ready for America to do some crazy things. Not as crazy as I want it to be. I'm not as ready as I want to be, is what I meant to say. Yeah. I'm not as prepared as, I'm still dealing with my own disabilities.
Of course.
I would like the revolution to happen on a day that I planned out so I can have all my stuff together.
Yes.
But I'm mentally and emotionally prepared for it to go haywire.
Yes.
Because I know how this operates. I know living so close to the Capitol, is part of the reason I feel comfortable, and part of the reason where if it goes bad, I might be in the worst place to be. You know what I'm saying? Like all those things are things that are going on in my head and have been for a while.
I've been saying the same thing. I said, we're right in the heart. If things, which is why I was very nervous about the Ukraine, Russia, because if America and Russia kick off, Washington D.C. is on the hit list. You know what I mean?
I told all the drivers in my house to make sure that we keep the cars at least halfway full. Yes. Partly because I want to prove myself, because I've made it to a point where that's not a problem anymore. Yes. Most importantly is with a half tank of gas, you can get 4 hours away from here.
Yes.
And so we need to be at all times ready to be 4 hours away from here. And not have to stop for gas to make those 4 hours, to be able to just from boom, be 4 hours away from wherever you are.
And I want the international audience to see how serious it is, because these are the discussions that we're having in America right now, because it's a tense situation, because of all of the things that are happening globally, the wars that are being funded. I'm seeing more, I live around military bases, so I'm seeing more warplanes, fighter jets, bomber jet, you see all kind of stuff where we are. So that looming sense of, things to come is very real when you live in the nation's capital. So, and then of course the protests and all of those things that happen here. So we have to be very aware. And I give thanks for your honesty,
Thank you. Yeah, we're in the same place.
Exactly. So, and one of the things that we actually are doing as a Rastafari community is that we're looking at an emergency plan, having a certain amount of food and different things stored, a phone list, and just trying to make sure that we have a plan if, COVID was a wake-up call, you know what I mean? When because you always heard that everything could lock down globally, right, theoretically. Right. COVID showed us the reality.
Yeah.
Because for a while you couldn't fly, you couldn't, it was real lockdown. You had to stay in your house, this, that, line up at the grocery store. It was a whole different vibration. So it's real.
The way that we are in a community and that we were raised by a community that had us ready is that when all these things happened, we didn't change our plan. We just maybe accelerated it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like none of us were like we still had to have a moment like, oh no, this is for real. But it wasn't like we hadn't had the conversation before.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a good place to be, and that's where we're setting up our children for. You know what I'm saying?
And this brethren is, his queen is from Kenya. He's been to the continent several times, so he know the time. And one of the things I love about the DMV Pan-African community, this is a Pan-African community that goes to Africa. This is not a theoretical community. You know what I mean? You hard pressed to find someone in this Pan-African community that hasn't been to the continent. You know what I mean? It's like, this is a community that travels, that that has very strong ties to the continent. You know what I mean? On all levels. So
realistic views.
Yeah, exactly. Very
like practical, realistic. Like hand in the dirt. Like
that's what I love about the DMV Pan-African community. It's not a lot of wishful thinking theory. People got land on the continent. People got family. Right. People. You know what I mean. People have moved there. The communities on both sides of the Atlantic. You know what I mean. You got people like Bialo. You got so many others.
People like you.
We are actively living this Pan-African reality. So it's a joy. You know what I mean? We're going to be doing a lot more collaboration. And one of the reasons I love collabing with this brother is because we don't agree on everything. We got different worldviews, but it's that diaspora, because African American, Caribbean, continental Africans, we're saying we got to bring in someone from the continent of Africa to kind of balance the perspectives. But that conversation has to happen, you know what I mean, as part of this healing, and to make Pan-African, the Pan-African family really, you know what I mean.
So, and And I love the fact that we keep collaborating. I want to do more. My favorite part of your collaborative verse on our thing is, like I said, we're talking our Pan-African talking our stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do that again. I want to do that more.
So you trying to do a whole project is what you're saying, Bomani?
Yeah. And like there are things that I've always wanted to brag about that I didn't want to brag about as theory. And now that I'm old enough to be like, no, I've actually done that thing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I want to.
We need to make an album like that. Let's go.
We need to make an album like that. Yeah.
It's
all right,
true.
we'll make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. We have found the most braggadocio tracks.
Yeah, but
really
think about Dead Prez first album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What that mean? We can do something like that because that's missing in hip hop right now. It's it's really that bad.
And talking to us, so I mean, the other thing you were saying, us having different worldviews, like I really just want to reiterate how much respect I have for what you do. I completely believe in your intent. I mean, we trust each other with each other's families. You and the highest compliment I can give a man, you remind me of my father. My father and I could disagree on like actual real like hardcore things about faith and spirituality and what the country should look like, but I believe that he really believed what he believed, and it was a conclusion that he came through to honestly, and you know what I'm saying, and he meant it. Like I never saw him slacking on it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel the same way about you. You know what I'm saying? And so we can not see eye to eye, but I completely trust your intent and your heart. And I've seen you do the actual thing. So,
and that's what unity. That's what true unity is. True unity is not everybody parroting the same talking points and trying to be the same, because that's not strength. The strength is in diversity. A strong immune system can defend against all different type of stimuli. You know what I mean? You got to have different aspects. So what I try to do is really surround myself with family oriented people, because to me, your family is your resume as a man. You know, one of the hardest things is to lead a black family right now. As a man, all of the brethren I know that are excelling, that are doing well, that are achieving are they have a queen and they have youth, you know what I mean, that they're active in their life. They may have, you know what I mean, first, second wife, whatever. We're not, going into that part, but they are actively being family oriented, you know what I mean? And no disrespect to my single brethren, but you need to settle down. You guys are all over the place, you know what I mean? But the family man, when you got to report home to someone, when your children need school fees, you this and that, and you're really accountable every day, and you got to show up, and you got to be that safety, that protection. So I try to surround myself with that energy, because to me, that's what's going to move our nation forward. You know what I mean? Is that stability. That's what's going to make sure that the second generation, the third generation, we break the generational curses, you know what I mean, that have been afflicted on us from slavery, trauma that we have been carrying from generation to generation. It's the families, strong, healthy families, that are going to break these curses. You know what I mean?
It's great to hear you say that, because and I think your audience knows this, but when men like Kwasi and myself are telling people that we need to prioritize family and family is the way to do it, we're not giving you the easy answer.
No, it's not easy.
We're not giving you the easy answer. We're giving you what we think is the best and the most effective answer.
Yeah.
And it's the war everyone says they're ready to fight. And this is where the fight is.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yes.
This is where the social media is big about men versus women wars, and winning that war. You know what I'm saying, by calling a truce, by calling a ceasefire, by sharing the land evenly amongst us and figuring out what our roles are and making this a peaceful place is the thing. In my song I Choose You, I think I was the only one I didn't really introduce with what it's about. It is the International Players Anthem. It's one of those songs that could be blasphemous if I did it wrong. I'm pretty sure I did it pretty right. I did it right. I keep telling my students to talk with confidence.
Yes,
I did it right.
yes.
And I ended it with reworking Pimp C's line, but I say a lot of brothers won't choose because choosing is scary. You're a family man, not a pimp. Just get married. Like that's how I end the joint. You know what I'm saying? And like, but that's what a battle is. That's where the war is. Trying to figure that out. And you know, speaking from the being married more than once does not make you an expert on marriage. You think doing it a lot means you know what you're talking about, but I'm from the crew of like, you know, I did it once and it didn't happen exactly the way I wanted to, but we are still co-parenting, and life is gonna be full of heartache and hardships and things you have to conquer and do in order to be successful and set your children up for a good future. And taking care of your family is the main cog. Marriage being part of that, being one of the main cogs. And so we need to be like very straight up about that being the conversation. We don't need to be having these esoteric conversations and these political conversations if we can't figure out how to raise our children together.
That is the backbone of any community, and especially Pan-African Rastafari. And that's what I try to do with my platform. I try to talk to the young brothers. I think where we have failed is that married men have not had the right propaganda that the single, dating kind of scene puts out there. When you're happily married, you kind of tend to keep it to yourself. And we've done an injustice because now all the bad stuff about marriage and, the horror stories are getting broadcast out there. And all the happily married men, we just quiet in the corner.
We like mind our own business, stand out the way.
Exactly, and we're not out there singing the praises. So the young people are not even aspiring. A lot of young people to get married or to have families because all they know is the trauma, the this, the that, and all these other narratives that are being pushed on social media. So I try to be very vocal about how much joy it's, as you said, it's not easy being married, but there's to me there's nothing better than when you really create that bond and you become that one flesh where you know what each other is thinking without having to vocalize, where you can be in two places at one time because your queen can represent you and you feel confident in her representation of you being there, of having someone who's going to keep you accountable to your ideas and your vision. Once you tell your queen, you're going to be held accountable. Married men know that. If you don't want to be accountable, keep it to yourself.
Keep it to yourself.
And
be very clear that it's just a hypothesis. Like, you can't even do that. You can't even do that though.
Exactly.
Especially if she likes it.
Exactly. If she loves it, that's it.
If she doesn't like it, then she might, hope you forget about it. But if she likes it, if you got good ideas, she's gonna hold you to them.
She's gonna hold you to it, and you need that as a man to really reach your apex, because having that person that knows you and that can see when your emotions are off and really pour into you. There's nothing like that on the planet. That's how I think the Most High really intended us to move around. I always say to a certain segment of my audience that polygamy is a rich man's sport. So if you're thinking about the multiple wives, you need to get your money up and don't put the woman through this craziness that some of you are trying to perpetrate on the sisters. Because they talk to me about money. They
I hear you.
Going on out in the street.
I realized as a young man, because I think when you're in the Pan-African, when you're in the let's think outside of the European box community, a whole bunch of options come up. And I realized like I didn't have like on top of the money, which being a huge thing, like emotionally, like we're gonna have to redefine what this means to each other. Because I'm having, keeping up with one like and being what one needs is a full-time job. And I'm not even saying it's impossible to do it for multiples, but I think you need to be raised in the community and be having these conversations and these ideas like long before you think you want to do them. And I want to have more straight up conversations about like what this means and what we are. Shoot, what you were just saying about marriage needs to be one of the songs we collaborate on.
Yes,
make that happen.
We're gonna do it. We do you said it on the Lion Talk. So we are holding to this project. 10 songs. 10. You're gonna create 10 tracks original. We going original because this man is a genius producer. Don't let him fool you. But he's using other people's tracks on this project, but this man can make a rhythm. He can play by ear. He can, the man is
my mixtapes are me studying my favorites.
Exactly. That's
my mixtapes is me listening to their beats and listening to them rhyme and being like, how can I use that to be a better writer? That's why I give them away. You can pay for them if you want, but you can also get it for free.
He's a creative,
But my album, I sell, and my album is me from all the skills that I learned from putting this together, from trying to dive into the mind of Andre 3000. And
we're gonna do an album. We're doing an album, a joint album like Distant Relatives. We doing an album.
Let's make it happen.
This brother, like I said, that is the intro for Lion Voice. This brethren just did it on the spot, just right there. Boom. It was done in 5 minutes. So that's what we're talking about. You heard it here first. We're gonna come back. I want to bring you forward to talk about creative industry and education and the work that you do. This brother is all across the country, getting paid well too. We have to put that out there. He's not suffering. Teaching teachers. Doing lectures, doing stuff at the Kennedy Center. This brethren is big time in the educational space. Like I said, a pioneer in hip hop education. You have Asheru, a few others that I know that are really doing this thing at a high level. I want to bring you forward just to talk about education, because I'm going to be doing in the new year a whole series just on Pan-African education. Because right now we're in the process of kind of rethinking how we build up the Rastafari ecosystem, and we want our own schools and all of these things, and music has to be a major part, and this brother is doing it in real life. So the lessons that we can learn from you, I definitely want to bring to my audience. So I look forward to that. But any final words on this project and what's next, what's in the future?
So the way you've been talking for a minute has reminded me of the thing I need to promote the most, and that is you can book me or come to one of my Kwanzaa programs.
Yes.
One of my favorite songs, that's one of my originals, is my song Umoja, and I believe our relationship and how we build is an example of Umoja. My song is about how James Brown describes funk, and that is every instrument is a drum, and every drum plays whatever they want, but they all come back to the one. You know what I'm saying? And so, you're a lawyer, I'm a teacher, you're also an educator. We all have different things that we do on different veins, but we all come back to the Pan-Africanism. You know what I'm saying? Trump becomes president, Pan-Africanism. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, definitely check out my song Umoja, and definitely hit me up about doing Kwanzaa. And I'm just really into Black ritual. I'm into us doing things together that remind us who we are. My job is to help people feel better about their Blackness. I feel like I'm in this, like I said, the blackest state that you could want in the United States, and I feel like I recognize how that affects my mood and how I'm better off from being in this, and I want to find ways to spread that and duplicate that. And so I'm really getting into Black ritual. And then also I'm doing something for the people who are local here in the DMV area. I will be at the Pan-African Embassy at Sankofa Video and Books on Black Friday. I believe it's the Friday the 20th. or the 29th. It might be the 20th. It's probably coming up sooner than I think. I'm doing what's called Say It Loud, a sip and spit. If you've ever done a paint and sip, if you've ever gone somewhere and done a workshop where you learn an art form, here's where you come and write rhymes with me. If you've never written a rhyme before, this is the place to be. I'm doing that Black Friday at Sankofa Video and Books.
And big up Sankofa Video and Books, one of my school rooms.
Boom.
Big up Haile Garima, Sharikiana. I'm going to try to get Haile on this platform. It's going to be a gargantuan task, but we're going to fight and try to get him on. He doesn't like to do interviews, but I'm going to try to see what I can do.
Oh, you got to get one with him, though.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to do one on mobile. Maybe you have to do something there.
Yeah, we're gonna
make it
work on it. I just thought of it as you said that.
That's what's up.
But yes, Bomani, and we give thanks. This is a home for you. So any work that you're doing, feel free to come. We're gonna bring you forward again up for the education conversation. This is a Pan-African platform. I want my audience to recognize that when we say Rastafari, the Rastafari that I represent is part of the Pan-African family, the Pan-African worldview. I'm not into this hippie Rasta movement. I don't know what that is. God go, I don't know. I'm not fighting them. But my Rastafari is coming out of Marcus Garvey, evolving through Leonard Howell, that Black redemption, Black liberation, Black unification. We have that work to do. We have not completed the mission. So we're just, playing our role. So that's the platform. So we're going to start bringing a lot more Pan-African community. We have some giants here in the DMV on the platform. This is my brother, Bomani Armah. Get used to seeing him. Why? Because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's Voice.
Lion Voice. Well, Bomani Armah, aka the Black Colin Powell, alongside the Chas Match Kwasi.
Ring the alarm, an empire is dying. Flash the lights, sound the bells, blast the horns and the sirens. We saw it happen before, it didn't stop us from trying. Kabul looks like Saigon, people fleeing and flying. A sign of end times like Cortez to the Mayans. A change in the climate creates a heated environment. Since the birth of a nation back when Babylon sided, the country's labor pain were both deadly and violent. We were raped, beat, brainwashed till we admired it. Docile and compliant, we were tortured by tyrants. Praise Almighty Dollar is the only requirement. Stolen resources, we never legally acquired it. Make money from mineral extraction and refinement. From generals to the privates. Soldiers on street corners sling freedom on consignment. Debt due now, they got us wondering where the time went. Empire's gonna keep empiring. You say we're peacekeepers, they say that we're pirates. Controlled education and diets, they don't want us defiant. Ignorance spread rapidly, it's so virulent. Shine the light of truth, cleans like it's ultraviolet. They tried to sell us war, half the country didn't buy it. We know who's the giant and it's David and Goliath. We gotta speak up, they think we love it when we're quiet. The ballot or the bullet gets warmongers fired. Don't be mad, UPS is hiring. When voices go unheard, then we speak in riots. I'm the Black Colin Powell, no discharge or retirement. Yeah. Rewind selector. In this time when things are going crazy, we need somebody to map out the plan of what to do. Fortunately, we've been working on this for a long time. Here's my man, the Jazz Match Kwasi.
Ring the alarm, an empire is falling, hostile mama Africa calling. In Afghanistan how many mothers are bawling. America pack up, say them a leave without warning. Now the Taliban say them a come in the morning. Just remember Remember when the CIA first armed them? KGB flee, holy warriors swarm them. Just say no more war, go a UN and warn them. Tell them, protect the poor, don't do nothing fi harm them. Them never want hear, so here come all the storm them. Hammer Gideon, I and I inform them. While we in Africa, and I walk and we farm them. The ghettos and the slums, I and I transform them. Urban agriculture, I go become the norm them. Plus when music I go play, on me own platform them. Black, wealth I go build, water, well I go drill. What a joy in a Zion when the prophecy fulfill. Every man fi have a skill, Mother Earth soil have it till. Average African family them fi what a couple bill. No more people getting killed, no more blood it off his spill. Man I'm living at Lagos, vacation in the grill. This is real, it's not a chill. This is not the time to chill. This is time fi we rise, tell the wicked be still.